What is up, party people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers Daily World Cup Edition. That's right, my man Asif is in the building, and we're talking about some of the crazy superstars that popped off yesterday. You know, Marko Arnautovic. Stole the show last night, baby. He only came in at halftime. Messi who? No, I'm just kidding, man. Messi is still the GOAT, of course, showing everybody that, you think I walk? You think I walk? Well, here's 3 on your head top for you. Kylian Mbappé as well, Mr. Flute Man himself. And welcome to the FIFA World Cup, Mr. Erling Haaland. What a day it was yesterday. How you feeling, Asif?
I'm feeling tired. Like I mentioned, is the games are on pretty late here, so I thought, as you know, Jake, I didn't get to sleep till about 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Yep.
I had to miss the Austria game. Caught up with it before the pod, but. Yeah, credit to the Austrians. I didn't realize that they would be. Yeah, they would. I thought they would win, but I didn't think I would be a closer margin than they were.
Jordan impressed me, actually. Jordan were complete unknown quantity to me. I didn't really know what they were going to bring, but they brought it. They definitely did.
I did some research into them. I did say, Jake, before that, I can see them capable of scoring because they are quite efficient. They've helped. They drew with Egypt, I believe. I mentioned it to you before. They've got some decent quality. I know with these African teams, I think they've been completely overlooked. And I've mentioned this before. So I think they did well. Austria, obviously, a lot more European experience. So you could see that experience coming into play. I think the time of day when they played helped a lot as well.
Yeah, it was 9 o'clock at night out in Southern California. So
yeah,
it's probably pretty nice. And it kind of was a typical game, that one, as far as the first round of games go. A little bit tepid, a little bit kind of feeling each other out in that first half. But they made the adjustments, Austria, at halftime, brought in, I make jokes, of course, but Marko Arnautovic did come in and did change the game, led the line well for the Austrians. And yes, there was like way too much stoppage time. I don't know why there was 10 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the second half. And Jordan were very unfortunate to concede a penalty in the 99th minutes. And it was just one of those where he's sliding. He's got his left arm down on the ground. And when you slide you're like that, your other arm kind of comes up and it hit his other arm. It's one of those where it was a natural movement, but it looks really unnatural. So they punished him for the penalty. And Arnautovic steps up and caps his performance with the goal. But yeah, I thought there was some good play in that game. And, I initially was just like, I'm definitely writing Jordan off. They're not going to do much. But in that group, which, was Algeria and Messi, of course, in Argentina, Algeria better step up, better straighten up, because both Austria and Jordan can give them a game.
I think it's, and no offense to Jordan if they played well, but I think it's between second place is probably between Austria and Algeria.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Come on, I mean, it's a whole step up in class with Argentina. With no offense to Algeria, they've had the most important defender missing, and just before the tournament. And I think it showed with the friendlies and today for me, yesterday for you guys. So yeah, I think he's going to be a big miss. I think that defense is capable of conceding. And Lucas Zidane with that, he's had a broken jaw. Yeah, with the jaw, I think it's restricting some of his movements as well. It's very unnatural.
Like he can't kind of see out of his peripherals a little. Yeah, he has to turn his head all the way to kind of see that.
I think so. I think with the especially if you got headgear and you're not used to wearing it, and then you come into a World Cup and I think it's I think that could be with a broken jaw as well. I think that's That's one of the things.
Yeah, that being said though, when you're up against the GOAT, and he is the GOAT, people, I like to compare them, and I like to say, I like Ronaldo a lot myself, and I like his discipline, I like his longevity, but you can't argue with Messi's World Cup record.
I'm a Messi fan.
He's now equaled the record for World Cup goals. He's going to obliterate it this tournament. He's going to end the tournament. I'm guessing somewhere in the low 20s. He's probably 6 or 7 more goals this tournament. Which, I mean, is that ever going to be beaten? Maybe Mbappe can get there, and maybe a certain Erling Haaland might get there. He's got 2 goals in the World Cup so far in his 1 game, and so hopefully Haaland can have a long and historic career for Norway in the World Cup. We'll get to that, of course, but big up Lumen every single time. Thanks for being here, of course. But yeah, man, Leo Messi. What can you say, dude? What can you say about this guy?
Messi was, he was a different level. I think for the first goal, the goalkeeper should have done a little better, obviously. But I'm not making excuses for the guy. The guy comes from good lineage, Zidane's son. But yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't get there, which is fine. Sometimes mistakes happen. I think for the second goal, there was nothing he could do about that one.
No, not at all.
Yeah, third goal. I know you were out of your seat for that one.
Yes, Jake. I was. Yes, I was.
And I think they did all the running for him. Like I said, it was going to happen. They did all but he was back in defence, helping out. I was impressed with that.
So was I.
But he should have had the yellow for that foul on the Algerian player. He basically put his studs in his calf.
I was going to ask you about that. I've seen online people calling for a red.
I wouldn't say it was a red. I don't think he particularly meant to do it. I think he just the way he went down, and you could see he was very apologetic in the way he were like, no.
I mean, we've seen I don't know, we've seen some strange things over the years, and some people saying he's lucky.
Yeah, on another day, if he was another player, maybe. And
if it was Michael Oliver in the center,
I think it's just because of Messi, Infantino, and they want to keep I would very much doubt that he's going to be getting a red card unless he does something, headbutt someone or.
That's terrible for the brand. It's so bad for the brand.
Exactly.
If you send Messi off, you can't.
If he got a red card and he's banned for a couple of that's why I think but.
Lumen's right though. In the Premier League, we'd be howling for a red if this was the Premier League. Yeah, if Bernardo Silva did that to Declan Rice, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, I understand, but I think the standard of refereeing as well in the World Cup, this World Cup, I think it's really good because not for the niggly fouls, they're not letting get up, just let the game flow. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot more goals. We're seeing a lot more because the game is flowing. None of these people are still doing tactical fouls, but not as, not for a shoulder barge, getting a free kick, get up, that kind of thing. So I think it helps the game flow a lot better. And I'm glad for that. I'm not a fan of the hydration breaks. I think that knocks the flow of the game about a little bit, but, the rest of it, I think it's good for the game.
I think the referees actually are doing a very good job. Some of them, there's specific instances, yes, where you can take issue, but I think that overall, the VAR checks have been really quick. Even like the ones that take a while have been a little bit quicker, And my favorite thing that I've seen so far is that the referees, unlike in the Premier League, are willing to stick to their guns. They're willing to say, look, this is what I think, this is what I saw. Nope, there is no error, and we're going to stick with it. I like to see that. We'll get to that in the France game in a little bit. When
we were talking about refereeing decisions, I thought it was really good with the VAR and the 2 offside calls before the goal, the Messi goal, for Algeria and for Argentina. No messing around. Okay, done. Yep,
I like that example. Ali says, hate to say it, but there's less Arteta type dark arts in the World Cup so far. Ali, just wait till the knockouts. Just wait till you're up 1-0 in the 94th minute.
No, I think it'll be harder. I think it'll be harder to do those dark arts. You need to be a lot more intelligent about it if you're going to be doing it. So
yeah, they've definitely let some stuff go, Lumen, here with some fouls and penalties not given. Yeah, they've definitely let some stuff go, but they've been consistent with that. I feel like they've kind of stuck to what they've done. But yeah, I agree. Messi probably at least should have seen a yellow for that one. But I mean, you just can't argue with what he produces out on the pitch. And Lauren and I were kind of poking fun at him because right out the rip he's walking around, but then I mean, he shut everybody up. He shut everybody up.
The guy was back in defense. People give him stick, but the guy was back in defense, helping out, and I saw that, and I was just like, "Wow, this Messi's up for it today."
This guy, absolutely.
So, yeah, I think he put his shift in, deserved his hat trick. Yeah.
I think this is. I think Ollie's right here. In the first game, it was like we're gonna lay down a marker. We're gonna set. We're not gonna f around this tournament. But then they kind of backed off of that since the Mexico game, and we haven't really seen like quick red cards like that. I'm glad that I kind of thought that okay, they've set a precedent for being super stringent and super strict, but then they've kind of backed off of that. So that's good to see, of course. But as we are going in kind of reverse order here, of course, big up Messi, big up Argentina. They look strong, man. They look really tough. But so do Norway, bro. Woo! Messi without pressure to win is scary than Messi. I can agree with this, actually. Yeah, the pressure is off. They were speaking about that in the commentary last night. The pressure is kind of off of him because they've won it. He's lifted it now, and now he can just go cook. And there's a little bit less pressure. I do agree with that as well. But welcome to the FIFA World Cup, Mr. Erling Haaland, the Viking giant coming in hot. Of course, he was going to score a brace on his tournament debut. But I definitely thought that they played Iraq, right? I thought that they gave him a run for their money. I thought the Iraqis were definitely better than I expected. Especially since they scored from a header. Like, how are these shorter teams, these smaller teams, scoring from headers, man? Like, you expect Norway are literal Viking giants. You know what I mean? So, like, how are you rising up over some big up?
I think it was more technique more than anything else because there was a really good cross whipped in, and then it was basically straight out of here, so he could glance it as well because it was basically head height as well, so he could just glance it. I think that's more or less why that Soloff was huge. Even on TV, he looked head and shoulders above everyone else, and I was like, if someone looks huge on TV, that's when they're huge in real life. And then him and Haaland, I remember one shot, they were them two like together. Even Haaland was slightly shorter than him, but I was like, wow, this guy's a bit of a beast.
He's huge, man. He's a tank. He's slow, and he's a real tank. And the way that in defense, because if you notice that what Norway were doing when they had the ball, Odegaard would drop in behind them, and Sorloth and Haaland would get pretty narrow. So it kind of looked like a 4-4-2. But without the ball, he was kind of playing like a Saka role. Like he was coming back and helping out with against the left, defender who was advancing forward. So. Interesting tactics from Norway.
For the guy. Every time he touched someone, they'd fall to the floor. If you noticed it, the guy was like, I didn't even do anything most of the time. He was just like, I really have not done anything. So yeah.
One of my favorite ones is when the dude just bounced off of him. Like Sorloth had the ball, and the guy came in real hot with the thing, and he's just like, and the dude just bounced off. I started laughing.
But I thought. With Haaland, with Norway, I thought they looked a lot more fluid when Oscar Bob and those substitutions came on. I think there was a lot more ball possession then. I think they were losing. They were losing a lot of the ball. They didn't have as much possession till those guys came out. I think it gave them a lot more control. And then that's when they got the goals, the second and the third goals.
I mean, with the big men
and the fourth goals. I thought Haaland was he was up for it. You could tell he was zoned in. And I think he had a good match. I don't think he was tested as much. I think he I think there'll be games where he's going to be tested. But my dark horses came through, and I kept saying it before the tournament. That's my dark horse pick, and my boy, my golden goose, got 2 goals. So
yes, he did.
Yes,
he did. We'll get that actually in just a second. I did want to point out that when Sorloth and Haaland were on the field together, it's very interesting that they were hitting the ball. The long balls were going to Sorloth. They weren't trying to hit Haaland for the run on. They were trying to hit Sorloth and let Haaland run on, which I think is very
good tactic. That was a good tactic because Sorloth's obviously bigger. He's not as mobile as Haaland. Haaland's the one who can get onto the end of them. Right, run on to the end of those knockdowns. So I thought that was a very good tactic. Actually, I don't think any other team, more or less in world football, could play that play that tactic.
No, you have 2 giants up front. Like imagine the defense, like that. Those 2 are running out. You just put some helmets on them and give them an axe, and it'd be terrifying.
Iraq. I tell you the truth, I would have done the same as them. If they come and bump into me, I'd be diving on the floor as well, just for the fact that those guys are huge. So
he's twice their size, most of them.
Yeah, that guy was huge, absolutely huge. So
Ollie says, didn't expect Norway to be poor defensively. Thought Iraq could have scored more. Those dinked crosses were dangerous. I'll tell you this, I do think Norway are going to concede some goals. I think they're going to concede when they come up against tougher opposition.
I would actually think, with his cameo, I think he might deserve a start for the next game. Oscar Bob, Jake, I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I guess it'll depend on the opposition and what kind of approach they want to do. But I thought he played well.
I thought he played really well off the bench. He looked like a dangerous outlet for them.
Yeah.
One thing.
I was getting to it. I was getting to it.
I think his performance was a bit. Yeah, he wasn't up to his usual.
No, let's have it. Let's have it right, Asif. He was terrible. Let's have it right. You're the captain. You're supposed to step up and be the guy running things, but they skipped him for the most part.
I think it's more because of the injury issues are surrounding him as well before the tournament. I think he was and if you noticed, he was like one of the first players to.
He actually wasn't. He was the 5th sub,
No,
which I was surprised. I was surprised he was the 5th sub. I thought he was coming off.
That was my mistake. Oscar Bob and those guys came on first, and then he went off.
It was like 5 minutes later.
Substitutions, yeah. But I thought, with Odegaard, those deliveries anyway, I think they probably just left him on the pitch more for the deliveries more than anything else because for the header.
Yeah. I got lucky because I had him to get a goal or an assist in my parlay, and he took 1 corner. Did you notice that? They had 7 corners. 6 of them were from the other side where he doesn't take the corner kick. I was like, oh my God. And when he finally got a corner on the other side, and I knew he was going to be coming off soon, I was like, please, this is your last chance. This is your last shot. I need this. And he puts in a hell of a good ball. And obviously, Ostergaard gets the header. I think that was 3-1 at that time.
Ostergaard, he scored most of his goals from his head as well. 5 goals he scored in, I think he plays in Serie A. And,
sure.
4 out of the 5 goals he scored with his head. So they are set piece wise, they are really good.
Yeah. So I expect goals in Norway games, both for and against them. So they'll be fun.
I didn't like their ball possession though. I'm not gonna lie. If they get someone a bit more technically adept, say Spain or someone like that, I think they're gonna be in trouble because those balls and the way Iraq causing problems with I think those spaces in between the lines, those crosses, like Ali was talking about, with someone a bit more clinical, that's going to be, but maybe different tracks for different,
We'll see how they deal with that going forward. Of course, Lumen asks, which countries would you expect to apply the Arteta ball, Mourinho bus parking in the knockout stages? I mean, the simple answer is like the smaller nations, those third place nations that get through and then have to freaking play France.
Anyone who's playing France or Spain.
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing against Spain, it worked. Look what Cape Verde did. You can sit in your block, in your shape. Don't give the tiki-taka masters any space, and they shit the bed. So maybe it is kind of something that can be effective versus some of the bigger teams. And as we've seen, England tend to struggle when they come up against parking teams that have parked the bus. Ali says Cape Verde was the best park the bus performance I have ever seen. Would have given Arteta a run for his money. I think Jose Mourinho stood and applauded at the end of that game. Yes, so we might be seeing some of that later on in the tournament. But of course, the French.
Might be saying that at Real Madrid next season.
Yep. The French looking for their third World Cup victory. Mbappe coming in. Dictator style, a point to prove, you might say, to the world as everyone's going crazy with the memes. You absolutely love them. I absolutely love them. But Mbappe pulling out the flute, Selly, after, I don't know if you've been watching the Fox. He did like an interview with, what's his face? I can't remember the dude's name. But anyway, he told him like on live on the interview or whatever that I'll hit the flute, Selly. And so after his first goal, he hits that celebration. Mbappe is another one he's gonna smash the record. He's only 2 goals away from the 16. That is the mark at the moment. Yeah, he's gonna smash right through
France,
that.
Mbappe, I thought that hit from outside the area was clean and Messi.
Bro, what a goal. What a goal that is, man. But what's so funny about that is the goal that Senegal scored right before it was an 18-year-old debutant. So big him up, of course, every single time. I mean, what a life. You come into the game, and he was a sub too. He's been on the game like 10 minutes, comes in, totally leaves homie. Was it Teo Hernandez? Leaves him for dead, with the step over move, and then puts one away. What a moment. What an incredible moment. It's 2-1. You might be able to Senegal might be able to come back and get something. What a moment for the kid. 10 seconds later, Mbappe's like, watch this.
Mbappe killed the kid. I'm not going to lie. He just killed his...
Ali thinks that's the goal of the tournament so far.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree with Ali with that one. I thought with the French, brilliant. I thought they had the hardest game of the day. Personally, against Senegal, because Senegal have got some players. They've got some players. They've got Jackson. I know he was offside, but
he played a lot better than I expected. Nico Jackson was giving him problems.
Even though he was offside, and
he does his best finishing when he's offsides.
Mane, I think you're going to see them this tournament. Senegal, I don't count them out.
The Senegal-Norway game, the next one, Senegal-Norway, is going to be fire,
I think there's going to be goals in that game.
That's going to be
with
a
the
lot of
physical
fun.
approach of Senegal as well. Senegal are not going to back down from Norway. They're big lads as well. So
yeah, Koulibaly's the captain at the back. He's not small. He's a big dude as well. So they're going to bat. He's going to want to wrestle with Haaland.
Napoli, I think he is. I'm not sure about who he plays for now, but I think he's in Saudi League now. But
perhaps, yeah.
And but I thought brilliant French. So going back on the French, absolute. You could see the people coming off the bench. It was ridiculous.
Dude.
They're like Doe coming off the bench.
Bradley Barcola comes in and just immediately just burning everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, bro. That's dumb. I thought that when Shirky came on, like and was able to get control of the ball, I know they were already winning or whatever, but I think we're gonna see that a lot more in this tournament because he was looking good.
I think he gives them a lot more ball control, but I think they were going for something different with the Senegal game. With the Senegal physicality, I thought they were going for more direct approach. We were both saying it, Jake, in the first half. No offense, but I did not see Mbappe at all. He was hardly there in the first half. So your boy Olise, same thing.
Well, you noticed what they did, right? You saw what they did right at halftime.
They went. You could tell they made those adjustments. You're there like, no, what are you doing back here? Get up front, basically. So, and they played.
Well, they switched Olise to play underneath Mbappe. And so Olise was kind of in that cam role. Before, in the first half, they didn't really have anybody creating in the middle. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to be as effective because Olise, we know him as a touchline winger, right? Well, he comes in to the center of the park and they'll do that going forward. I imagine we'll
Olise
see that going
was
forward.
brilliant.
Dude.
I'm not gonna lie. That through ball for Mbappe was absolutely brilliant.
He
What
got
can I
both
say?
assists. He got 2 assists.
Yeah,
Olise
he
got
got
2
two
assists
assists.
and
He
the
got
man of the match from
I
Budweiser or whoever.
yeah. I like I say, your boy Jake and
I think you're going to do better than me. I think you're going to do better than me because I think Mbappe is going to smash goals, dude.
Crystal Palace though, like from Crystal Palace to Bayern and the World Cup now.
And then man of the match in the first game of the World Cup with
think-
Kylian Mbappe on the field, no less.
With Mbappe, I thought, he stepped it up as well when he needed him. I think there's a lot more to come from him. And watched against I fancy him. He got 2 games in this match against a pretty decent Senegal team. So I fancy him to get a few more, raid a few more.
I fear for Iraq though, because France play Iraq next. That's Iraq I fear
is
for
going to
them.
batten down the hatches. You know he's going to be a proper Harambo job. That's going to be
they're going to bring in Arteta just for to advise on the next game for Iraq to advise on the next game.
I think next game is where you might need more Turkey in that next game.
Yeah, to try to break them down.
To unlock that defense. Different horses for different courses, I think. So yeah, with that talent they got coming off the bench, it's
dumb. Like Ali says, it's a cheat code. It's just a cheat code, man. That roster is absolutely stupid. But we are, of course, looking forward to the next round of games in that group. It's going to be spicy. But today, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo is getting going versus the Congo DR. Big up the Congo, big up Portugal. So that's going to be a fun game. But today, it really is all about the 3 Lions. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you worried?
A bit of both. I'm not gonna lie. Croatia's a pretty old team. I think we need Saka on. We need to use our pace against them. Obviously, we can England normally overpower teams with the physicality. I don't think we can do that against the Croatians. They're a big team with Gavidol.
Well, they're just press resistant. Like they like. You can't get the ball off Modric. He's
small, Modric,
but he's so press resistant.
Modric is just a totally different level. So I think with him, we got to with a player like that, you have to block the balls coming into him. So that's the way I'm going to see. And with England, with the midfield, this is where the double pivot will come into play.
So who would you start? That's been the question all week. Is it Bellingham, Rice, Anderson, or is it Bellingham?
It's going to be Bellingham.
Is it Bellingham next to Rice and then like Rogers or Eze, or is it going to be Rice, Anderson in the double pivot, Anderson, and then Bellingham cooks? You think? Yeah. You think so?
Right. Yeah. Anderson, Rice, and then Bellingham, and then when we're in possession, want Rice or Anderson's got a shot on him as well, but I think Rice will normally.
Who's going to be farther forward? Do you think?
I think it'll be Rice.
Yeah, sure.
And I think with Anderson, he'll give us a bit more protection. Going back, you saw even when we've got the ball, I think Rice will be cooking. You've seen his goals this season. I think Rice has got he could come up with a big occasion. So I think personally, I think it'll be Rice. Bellingham I think will get the shout against over Rodgers. I know people have been talking about that, but I don't know.
Well, if you're playing Rice and you have to get Bellingham in the team, man. Whatever you're doing, you got to.
Rodgers is a good option coming off the bench. I think Saka, we should be managing his minutes. So I think that's so I think you're going to see your favorite player Medweke, Jake.
Please, bro. What are y'all doing? Like, why? What? Don't do that. Like, what?
I think it's because we wanted a more natural, like replacement for.
Dude, just put Rashford on the right hand side. If Saka can't go, just put Rashford out there, bro. Don't waste your time with Dookie, with Maduki.
He's not gonna. Yeah, he's not a run at you sort of player. He's Rashford.
What happened to the days where every winger could play left or right? Why do they have to be left or right? You know, I mean. Put Anthony Gordon out there for F's sake. Medweke? What are we doing?
Yeah, and Gordon obviously plays on the other side. But you could invert him. That would have been. But With
Hell, I prefer
Madueke,
Harry Kane on the right hand
no,
side to
with Madueke,
Madueke.
it's like one of those, one of those sweets you get when you don't know which one's the coffee one.
Yeah,
That's basically what happens with Madueke. Sometimes he can score a worldie and hit like a 20-30 yard stunner.
sometimes is like maybe one time in the season.
No, he had that spell for you guys in the season where he was scoring when Saka was out. If you
It
remember,
was a great goal versus Bayern. I'll give you that in the Champions
yeah,
League.
he had a little spell where he was scoring and assisting, and everyone was like, "Wow, look at him! You got him from Chelsea and blah blah blah." But and then he tailed off. I'm not going to lie. I think it was maybe the thing about having to play second fiddle to Saka.
Well, he was always going to be playing second fiddle to Saka. But speaking of the star man, I've heard a take or an idea, a thought that maybe they should send Saka home. He's not training. He's not full training. He's not going to go the whole game. It's an Achilles thing that he's dealing with. He's been dealing with. I mean, I heard in this take, it was from Terry Fleurs on the Football Terrace, of course. Big up the Football Terrace every single time, of course. But he was talking about how in years gone by, maybe Rooney shouldn't have been playing. He got that injury in 2006 and he didn't tell anyone. And then he went on, had a horrible game and got a red card because he was injured. We've seen it with Michael Owen taking injuries, stays at the tournament and shouldn't have. Seen this in the past, and so he was worried that Terry, that is, was worried that if Saka comes in and 30 minutes in ruptures that Achilles, and then he's out for 18 months like Ekitike, what is that something that you should risk for the biscuit? Risk it for the biscuit, as they say, or should you cut your losses and just?
It's one of those injuries where it's either both ways. You could either go, you could either rupture it, or with rest, it can like help and heal naturally. So I know. So it's a double-edged sword. I think he needs to get managed more or less, Jake. And then, how can you leave Saka at home though? I'm not gonna lie. At least he's been open and honest about it. And like when the instances where when you talk about Rooney, etc., but you were. So at least the public know what they expect. And I know we've been talking more about Saka, but I think just going quickly on, I think Kane's the main man for today.
Absolutely.
With him, he's been playing brilliant for Bayern. If anyone's I reckon is gonna score in that game, a centre forward, I think it's gonna be him. You're cool from the spot. He's can't say so much about him. So
two wingers, Giggs, and you'll never play it on the right hand side. But Giggs could. Lumen, Giggs, Ryan Giggs, the boss. He could have played on the right if Alex ever asked him to.
Yeah, he was stupid. He was
cold, bro. They both were cold. I think they could have if they were asked to in a pinch. I definitely think they both could have. And I think Harry Kane is the reason there's so much debate over who's starting behind him in the center of the midfield, right? Because if you had more of a on the last man type of strikers, a la Erling Haaland, you would maybe want a Morgan Rogers or an Eze in the middle of the park to try to connect it up. But Kane does that himself, doesn't he? He comes back a lot more and he's kind of in those spaces. So I understand, where you would prefer to have like a Bellingham who can connect with him more so than a Rogers, who is somebody who's looking to get the ball and like go at him and shoot. And if there is a pass, to Kane, then maybe it's on. But, Bellingham's looking for the pass a lot more than Rogers is. So Kane will be way more of the focal point when you have Bellingham, Anderson, and Rice, which is what I think he's going to go with.
That's what I think they're going to go with as well. Tried and tested as well. And even though you mentioned, now to come to think of it, I know we kept talking about the natural replacement for being Madueke, which is obviously for Saka, but you could see Eze as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Eze on the right as well if Saka can't go. Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I think England, very dangerous team. Croatia. Never. I wouldn't have, even though they. But I would use that pace. I would use that. That's the only thing we've got over them, and that's where we need to start be running at them. We need to block those balls off to Modric, and then because he's a conductor, so if I take him out of the game, you're taking like basically 50% of their attacking him, like potential at that game, and then from there, watch the set pieces because Croatia, they're a big team as well. But I think England are, in that aspect, we're pretty, yeah. And we were speaking about Guehi, Jake. I just like to mention that with him out, I think it might be an actual advantage for us because Guehi's what 5'9", if I remember correctly.
Stones is bigger.
Yeah,
Stones is bigger.
A lot taller. And
yeah.
With Croatia, I know he's even if Guehi doesn't play, I'm not too fussed about it because Stones with Concert, it's tried and tested partnership. They've did the Euros together. Stones, yeah, big guy. I can see him cleaning anything that comes, and he can play out from the back as well. So not a problem.
Plus, having I assume Nico O'Reilly's going to start at the left back. So for him. For the kid, yes, he's shown a lot of poise. He's shown that he can show up in big moments in big games, but this is the biggest stage of all. And having somebody like Stones next to him who he's familiar with, who he's played with, who he knows, that could absolutely help Nico O'Reilly, be comfortable as well.
Yeah, exactly. Nico, I think big game for him. Let's see what the tactics are for him because I know like a lot of times he could sometimes be one of the furthest player forward for Man City.
Mm-hmm.
On those set pieces, Nico's he's pretty good with his head.
He's tall as well. Nico O'Reilly's tall as well, and
he's got technical ability. He can smash him. He's not just with his head. So I can we'll see how that pans out and what tactics Tuchel has if he's going to do something similar. For how Man City play, or if it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I think the options coming off the bench, I'm actually seeing a difference with us compared to Croatia, and I think that could be a factor as well. Like you've got a player like Morgan Rogers coming off the bench, you've got players like Eze coming off the bench. Players who can do some damage, who can run at you as well. So
that only leaves one question: Rashford or Gordon on the left?
Gordon.
Really? Oh, I would have thought you would have said Rashford.
Because I think the way the World Cup is playing out, it's a lot like European football, Champions League football. Where has Gordon excelled? In the Champions League, and I think with his with the style of play and horses for courses, like I keep saying it, but and I think Gordon would be best suited, my personal opinion, and I think with his confidence, with his move to Barcelona, etc., I think he could do, I think he can do some damage. Personally, and I think I'd choose him over Rashford, but that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, please God, no. I don't do this to me, Ali. No. That's no. Please no.
I'm just gonna ask him about
please no.
I was gonna ask Jake about how he thought about Kai being on equal terms to Mbappe and Haaland at the World Cup. Because they're all on 2 goals. Only the goal is on 3. So he's in really fine air at the moment.
Yeah, so is Florian Balogun. So, yeah. Yeah, Ollie knows.
Excellent.
Ollie knows. Yeah, hey, Florian Balogun, big him up. He's on 2 as well. Havertz ain't proven nobody wrong. He ain't proven anybody wrong. He did exactly. You know what?
He's the man. This is the thing.
I'm not even gonna get it started.
He's got a lot of haters, but he's the man for the big occasion. People can say whatever they
want. No.
Let him score his
and then disappear, and then not do anything else for the rest of the game.
Let the man cook. Let him score his goal first. He's customary,
and then sub him off.
then sub him off if you want. Yeah, then sub him off if you want. But let him get his big game goal in first. He's the man for the big occasion. No, come on. Even you can't say anything about that one, Jake.
I can. I absolutely can. He is not the man. He's not the man for the big occasion. Yeah, and we lost. We didn't win. Did we win the Carabao Cup? No, we didn't. Did we win the game? Did we win the game? Did we win the semifinal versus Newcastle 2 seasons ago? It was Havertz that cost us the semifinal in the Carabao Cup versus Newcastle in both of those fucking games. It was Havertz that cost us both times versus Manchester City. It was Havertz that cost us in the Champions League final. I don't give a shit about his goals. I don't give a shit. Did we win? No, we did not.
To sub him after the goal.
Immediately. Just get him off. He scores a goal, get him off. Yeah, I can agree with that strategy.
Then you might actually start getting things a bit.
I don't know how that's. Ollie, you directed us down a dark path here. You directed us right down a dark path. I'm gonna have to pull that back. Nez, yep. That's about right.
Man's gone. The man's gone. Ali, the man's gone. I'm happy.
Asif's riding the high. He don't got to worry about it no more. He doesn't have to worry about it at all. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very fun game. Very interested to see if Croatia park the bus or if they come out and what's going to happen.
I just want to touch on because it's they're very close. They're very close to myself personally. Colombia, Uzbekistan today.
Yes.
Colombians, I can see them. Yeah. I can see it's going to be like a home game for them. So
it's in Mexico. This is in Mexico City. It's going to be
There's a big Colombian community over there as well. I can see them. Yeah, I can see them. Uzbekistan, and they're a decent team. I'm not saying they haven't. They've got a couple of European-based players as well.
They're young. Uzbekistan are young. They're kind of defensive. They're a young team. Should be a fun game.
But yeah, I think it's.
Does James start? That's the question.
James is going to start. Is going to start.
Okay.
And I think Colombia for the win. With
World Cup heritage.
Heritage in Mexico as well. It's the climate is in their favor as well. Uzbekistan Absolutely. Compared to Uzbekistan. Yeah, I think even though it's going to be a 3:00 start, which is it's still going to be a little humid compared to and I think Uzbekistan's more of a cold.
That's the late game. That's the late game.
But even then, it's a colder place than Colombia. Colombia is not too far from Mexico. Right. It's a couple of hours on plane. I think Colombia should have enough to get this through. Options.
I don't know, man. Uzbekistan a bit of an unknown quantity for a lot of teams. I would imagine. So,
but I've been doing a little checkup research on them as well. Because especially after the last couple of games, I've just been with Cape Verde, and I was like, when I did,
oh my God, Arun, what are you doing? Arun, wow, really, bro?
But they got beat by the Netherlands, even though they had even though they had a red card in that game, the Netherlands, and they lost to Canada as well, 2-0. One of the friendlies before them. I think, I can see the Colombians beating them. I'm not gonna lie. And then, I think it's just a lot of things aspects just working in the Colombians' favor for this game. Also, the other game I want to touch on is the Portugal game. Portuguese, what can I say? That midfield is stacked. That midfield is ridiculous. Even the French wouldn't be happy with that midfield.
So stacked.
Yeah, that midfield is probably the best in the tournament.
I agree. João Neves, Vitinha, and with Bruno Fernandes in front of him. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Can have plenty of chances. I think Portugal's going to have that match. Even if Ronaldo's not having they can get Ramos off the bench.
If Ronaldo claps back with a hat trick,
that would be so funny.
That'd be amazing.
But he's going to be so pissed if he doesn't get a goal today, Jake.
Oh God, he's going to be upset. He's going to be so mad.
Yeah, with Messi getting 3, Mbappe and Haaland getting 2. Yeah. I I disagree. I
The
disagree.
thing
I
is, it's
mean,
Congo, right? And yes, people have been underestimating teams, and that will get you in trouble. But I mean, this team, I
no,
mean,
no, no. I
come
think
on.
they've seen. I've with all due respect. Yeah, yeah. I understand. Great players, not the best team. It could be. But with all due respect, they're not going to be taking Congo lightly.
No.
Especially after the results they've seen from other teams, especially Spain. They'll be getting out the big hitters straight away. I'm not saying Spain are going to win the tournament, and I'm not saying for
Portugal.
Portugal, but I think they're gonna. I think they could do well if they let some of the leash off. And the leash off is they've been in the Euros. I saw them a lot more compact, not trying. They were a little afraid, I think, and I think they need. I think they need that thing of just go play. I think they need a. I think anyone needs a manager like Ancelotti to be more Portugal as well. They just need to go do your thing, cook. I know Zlatan were talking about it because he was his manager before, and he was talking about he was a manager, not a coach. He'd just be like, okay, I need you to do this, and he'd more of a motivator, like go on. And I think that's what Portugal need. They need someone to say, okay, you play your diagonal, your pretty patterns on the ball, that kind of stuff. You guys just do what you want instead of these rigid team structures where. And I think that's where Portugal go wrong, personally.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see what Congo do and then how Portugal respond to perhaps a bus parks,
I think
if
Portugal,
they're trying to go toe to toe. We'll definitely see.
It'll be interesting with the tactics, but I think with Portugal, it's a different team compared to what it was before with Vitinha and Neves now, and compared to like the Portugal team of the past, and they've got quality. Even coming off the bench, they have quality. I know a lot of people talk about France, and they're just like that run. If you look quality wise, they're probably in like Spain's level when it comes to like quality off the bench, etc.
Plenty for sure.
So, I do think even if they're losing, they've got ridiculous players coming off that bench. So.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great day, of course. The only other point I do want to mention is about the remaining game we have not spoken on. Antoine Semenyo probably going to make his World Cup debut today for Ghana.
I've actually got I've got family in Panama as well, so I know a little bit.
Oh man, they're going to get smashed.
The Panamanian team. I know the USA don't love them.
I hate them. I hate Panama for a very good reason.
What do you call them? The canal people. That's what it is, roughly translated in Spanish. I think Ghana should win this.
Panama are poor, man. It is what it is.
With the Premier League, with Semenyo, they've got a lot of European-based players.
Some speed.
Ghana.
It's gonna be a fast team.
And I think I know even though Partey's out with the visa problems, he should be back for the next 2 games.
Sure.
If you don't let, if I was Ghana, I'd use the physicality, because I think and use the speed. I think Panama, I think quite technical, but I think they don't have that speed because
they're smaller too.
They've got all the players in that team. They're a lot like Croatia in that aspect. They've got like 38-year-olds in that team. So I would hit them with pace. And with Semenyo, there's no other. Semenyo, Jordan Ayew, I think is one of them as well. There's a few.
Yeah, well, he's old.
Yeah.
Ghana's another team I don't like, bro. Ghana's another team their World Cup history versus USA. Ghana's World Cup history versus USA. I don't like them very much at all, bro.
But I think but I'm just going to have a check with this lineup actually because I know we've been doing this recently with that.
I think Semenyo is going to cook though, man. I think he's been balling out in the Premier League all season long, and I think he might have a field day in this one. I fear for Panama, to be honest with you. I do fear for them in these games. In that group, especially like playing against Portugal is going to be tough as well. So, or are they in the Colombia group? They're in the England-Croatia group.
They're in the England group.
They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle, bro.
I think they'll be probably looking at this game as the game that they might be able to take up some points off. So I think this could be a game where the Panamanians actually score.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm like I say, I'm not sure. I'm not. I watched a little bit of Ghana and the AFCON, but I haven't seen them play much. So a little bit of an unknown quantity, especially at the back.
I'm expecting goals on both ends. To be
Yeah.
truth. I think they will both go for it, thinking, "Look, this is a team I need to beat." And I think we saw that with Austria last night as well.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go for if then especially with England and Croatia in that group, they're going to be thinking this is where I could go and get that third place finish and carry on in the tournament. So yeah, that was my personal opinion. Would be they're going to be up for it for this game. So we'll see.
Absolutely, we will. What a day of World Cup yesterday, says SC. Of course, thanks for being here every single time. Yeah, it's going to be another pretty amazing day in the World Cup. We are closing out the first games of each group stage, and tomorrow we'll be starting all over again with the second round of games. But yeah, man, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, biggest stage. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up today. We'll probably see James Rodriguez today. Antoine Semenyo, more stars, more stardom to be had. I'm very, very excited about it, but I think we will wrap it up right there. Of course, thanks so much, everyone that's been here and tuned in this morning. Big up the chat every single time. Of course, like I say, I'm feeling the love on the shorts for each World Cup nation. Make sure you're locked in there. SC says a Kane brace is loading. We would absolutely love to see that. Of course, yeah, England starting out today. Big day for them. And I'm very, very excited, of course. But yeah, make sure you are locked in. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you are subscribing. Of course, get that notification bell on. Big up yourself, Ollie, every single time. Thanks again. And we'll see us next time.